Candy Games, welcome back to my channel. This is Candy Pie Travels. Today we're going to react to top 10 underrated animes of 2020. I don't watch much anime in 2020 because I still watch Boruto and all the old animes, because lately the new animes haven't been that good to me. So let's see the top 10 underrated animes. Let me know if your top 10 underrated animes of 2020 as well. But I still love The Promised Neverland, Demon Slayer, and what's the other ones? Oh yeah, Fire Force, all the other ones. Those are so great. And this new one I'm watching, Jujutsu Kaisen, I like that one a lot. So I can't wait to see the full finale of that season. But let's get into this video right now. Alright.
2020 has been a wild year, and that's an understatement. In the anime industry, however, it will forever be considered a year full of ups and downs. The industry is actually so strong right now with a plethora of sequels and great shows in one season alone. What a way to start off the decade, huh? As I often say though, this creates the inevitable situation where there are some shows that get overshadowed by the more hyped sequels, or the series that seemingly grab the anime world by the neck and are the only ones that the community can talk about. This week we're running down some of the shows from 2020 that deserve more love than what they're getting at the time of writing this. I'd like to encourage you to subscribe, and if you enjoy
oh, that's my anime right there.
Work together.
I like that one.
Next milestone for this channel.
What? This one is like my favorite
anime.
anime.
You have these school setting shows where the focus
I
is
even
on
read the
a
manga.
human and a ghost or some spiritual being teaming up to deal with supernatural threats. Heck, Winter 2020 had two of them, albeit with completely different approaches and settings. I think that on paper, not a lot of people would find Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun anything too special compared to Inspector, its primary seasonal comparison. But that is to be expected. It seems to be your relaxed action comedy, almost sort of like a wackier version of Inspector. However, I think that Hanako-kun really takes it to another level with the chemistry of the two main characters.
I wasn't gonna watch this show because of the cutesy drawing of it, but it's a really good show. And then it gets a little dark later on.
The characters in Hanako-kun are a joy to watch, especially the main lead. I also like how the arcs are quite quick and enjoyable, and they easily flow into one another. Is Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun an unpopular show? Not by a long shot. Is it better than a lot of people give it credit for? I definitely think so.
Ooh.
Up next at number 9 is Darwin's Game.
I was supposed to watch this one.
Smartphone death games, citywide battle royales, logical.
This looks really good.
It sounds like the formula for a forgettable seasonal edge fest to me. By all critic measures, Darwin's Game has all the check boxes ticked for seasonal trash.
It looks like
actually a lot more enjoyable than
it reminds me of Future Diary. If you ever saw the anime, it kind of reminds me of that one.
Most people give it credit for, and I think that in anime, enjoyment is king. Yeah, I said it. Maybe it's because I'm a big shonen or action light novel fan that I have the amazing ability to suspend belief or overlook things in favor of flair. But Darwin's Game, I believe, is a lot better than most of its relatives. It's great at setting up cliffhangers. How the characters are written and how they interact is my jam, and I think that Ganame's growth from start to end is really a pleasure to watch. If you're in for some high-octane action and popcorn entertainment, pick this show up, or another similar show that I'll be talking about later on the list. While you're at it, check out the manga for Darwin's Game as well. It's at its last arc and things have taken a huge twist and shift in tone.
Well, I hope it gets a season 2. My Next Life as a
Consider this next one a kind of pioneer for the genre. My Next Life as a Villainess. The reincarnated as a villainess plots pretty much become a genre now, but I think a lot of you had your first exposure to it through this anime. I personally had that experience too, and I have to say I enjoyed the whole ride with Katarina through and through. I don't know what the secret was. It could be the charming and charismatic characters. It could be the fresh take on the isekai genre, being an otome reverse harem and all. It could even be me finding stakes in Katarina's quest to avoid bad endings. But whatever it is, there's a lot to like about this funny and entertaining series. The show got quite the following when it did air. However, once the season finished, not a lot of people really talk about it much anymore, which I think is a big shame. I won't say that the show is a masterpiece or anything like that, but I did think that it would be the flag bearer for the reincarnated as a villainess genre to start taking off into the somewhat mainstream.
That's pretty interesting.
I think it has kind of done its job.
Commercial. can't be.
Rack 7 in line is Fog Hill of 5 Elements.
Okay. Ooh, this looks good. You see the way that animation art sounds?
Greater inclusion on this list. I've talked about how much I like the short series for many videos now, and the show has virtually no traction. That's understandable given its nature. But I'd like to once again encourage you to watch this show.
Yo, his hair is on fire.
Anime series. Fog Hill is easy to go through, and for the short running time, you get treated to a lot of amazing fight scenes and unique art style that gives its own signature flair. The story's also pretty decent too, but I think that the animation and art direction is really where Fog Hill shines. You'll be hard pressed to find a lot of titles that are as good as it in these departments. Watch out.
Bro, just watching this snip makes me want to watch it.
About to take the world by storm.
いらっしゃい。つけてみるかい。
A Whisker Away is our 6th entry. A Whisker Away is one of the 2020 anime films that generated quite a bit of buzz when it was first announced. Then, circumstances forced it out of theatres. Then, it became a Netflix movie. And then, it ended up being a one and done thing. Come to think of it, end up having a fate like this. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I really think that without the messed up situation of the world at large, A Whisker Away could have been a lot better and definitely more popular. After watching it, I really don't mind that it's not on par with, say, Miyazaki or a Shinkai film. Leave the comparisons and the expectations aside, and A Whisker Away ends up being a whimsical and fantastic adventure into the beauty of magical love. It also helps that Mari Okada's at the helm, and I like her work generally speaking. It really makes me feel that it's a Disney film, but in anime form, with the way it looks and how the story flows. With that being said, you should give this movie a watch if you haven't done so yet. It's a fun adventure that would provide a fun way for you to pass a weekend with the family or your loved one. At number 5, we have Gakushigoto.
お父さんの隠し事は何ですか？
When I first read the synopsis of Gakushigoto, I immediately thought of the infamous Eromanga Sensei, a far more wholesome take on the secret identity storyline and minus the incest subtext. Am I the only one who thought of it in that way? However, when I was done with Gakushigoto, I got an experience closer to Usagi Drop. Now, it's certainly a great way to subvert expectations, right? Gakushigoto is primarily a comedy, no doubt, but it does have a lot of genuinely touching and heartwarming moments that help complete the experience. The characters are easy to sympathize with, and I know some of you can also relate to the situation of having a double identity. I certainly did. When Gakushigoto was airing, I didn't notice that much traction on the show, so I included it in here because I think it's severely underrated. Come in for the comedy, and you'll come out with some feels and some honestly dramatic and melancholic moments. Rounding out our pre-top 3 is Gleipnir at number 4.
僕の体はなぜかいつの間にか
What's this?
この匂い
Oh, this is when he turns like to the little teddy bear shit.
人が
That
Okay, so
that
this
show
is the
creeped
show
me
that I
out.
mentioned back in the Darwin's Game entry. Like Darwin's Game, Gleipnir deals with the idea of a survival game with gifted
Yeah, it was
people
between these
gaining
two.
powers from a supernatural source. While I like the overall character designs for Darwin's Game more, Gleipnir has far better production.
I gotta finish it. I stopped like episode 4. It got kind of crazy.
Production values and a much darker tone and atmosphere. Just check out the top 10 fights video that I'll be linking up there and be amazed at how much effort's been put in this show's animation. Personally, I just like how all in Gleipnir goes in its gritty survival.
I think he got on my nerves the worst. I don't know, it's her or him. One of them got on my nerves.
Premise. While Darwin's Game operates more like a traditional ensemble shonen, Gleipnir decides to skirt classic conventions and deal with more morally grey perspectives and a revenge storyline. The atmosphere is also darker and more of a mystery. While I stick to the belief that dark doesn't equal good, it works like a charm in Gleipnir. The only downer for the show, in my opinion, is its kind of nonsensical last episode, because they wanted to have a climax with the last boss fight, but the manga version of that fight is a bit far off from where the episode count ended. Taking advantage of the barren spring season, Gleipnir got some traction when it was airing. However, I think that barring circumstances, the show would have gotten buried in obscurity given its stage in the community right now. It does deserve more love. Really, it does. After going through the synopsis and getting the general feel of the series, I knew immediately where Dorohedoro would be in the anime popularity ladder, so to speak. Dorohedoro prides itself on its black comedy, crass humour, over-the-top violence and gritty atmosphere. It doesn't exactly tell the story of an underdog learning to survive the dog-eat-dog world like what Vinland Saga or other similarly dark shows would have done. For me, Dorohedoro didn't follow the traditional formula for mainstream success. However, I knew that with how all in it went on those mature themes and story execution, that it would find itself as an underrated gem by some people, kind of like a cult classic. and that's exactly what it became. In a season with Haikyuu and other shows with more mainstream appeal like Bofuri, Dorohedoro is probably at the exact spot where I expected it to land. Still, if you're up for some mature and wild entertainment, Dorohedoro might just be the hidden gem for
That's
you.
pretty good.
Almost making it to the top, but not quite. Second place on the list goes to Decadence.
Decadence.
I really like Decadence. I know a lot of people have written it off as just another derivative of the Attack on Titan formula, but with the season's close, I really think that it's ascended and come to its own over the few months. Still, I can't understand why it doesn't seem as popular as something as good as it would warrant. The crisp and fluid visuals aside, I do admit that Decadence does take a while to kick things into a high gear. You've got the amazing fight in the opener that I talked about in a previous video, but it did turn out to have a pretty slow start. Overall, I like Decadence because of how original it feels. You can quickly tell that a lot of love and care has been put into crafting it. Its world building is good, the characters are fun to watch, and there are many themes that you wouldn't expect from this series at first glance. Stop sleeping on Decadence, guys. Standing at the top this time is It Invaded.
I was trying to figure out what this anime was.
When
This
It
looks
Invaded
good.
came out, I was sure that it was going to be the hit of the
I
season.
didn't.
Who doesn't love a cop show with a lot of psychological thriller elements?
Me.
Not exactly too many people, it seems. Now, this isn't a knock on the show and its fan base, but for something that looked like
That can't be a
Psycho-Pass,
knock on the
I expected
show.
a bit more pull and fanfare coming in.
Because we have like Death Note and Psychopaths. That can't be a knock on the show. Probably the animation. Because yeah, I think he is.
I guess it's the comparisons, though, to the masterpiece that is Psycho Pass, which
See, I
makes
just
It
said that.
Invaded unappreciated. Setting aside the comparisons, I believe that it has a lot going on for itself in its own right. At its core, it's a pretty nice sci-fi mystery that could have pretended.
One anime I did hate when I was little was Ghost in the Shell. I mean, because I didn't really personally have the mindset at that time. But yeah, Death Note, Psychopaths, and this is probably gonna be my third one. I'm probably
To be
like,
a serious live-action crime drama. It also has a lot of well-written characters that avoid or subvert the usual tropes that you see in the medium. So yeah, stop calling it a poor man's derivative of Psycho Pass and give It Invaded a shot. It's definitely going to be worth your time.
okay.
2020's got a lot of hot stuff buried underneath the heavy hitters, right? It's really worth the journey to go through all of these one at a time while you're waiting for the big sequel that you're anticipating in the coming few months.
The big
Would you like more
sequel.
content like this in the future? Make
Attack
sure
on
to tell me
Titan.
in the comment section down below. You might also want to give your own version of the list so that we can get to know you a little bit better. Before
Aw.
leaving, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the bell so you can be the first in line for the next video. Don't forget to check out our sport.
All right, that was interesting. Yeah, there was a lot of animes I haven't seen to check out yet in 2020, but I'm glad I looked at this list. So I gotta watch that one. ID Invaded. The one with the teddy bear, I might finish that one. There's a lot. I probably want to check out the whole list. It's not that many, it's only 10. But other than that, leave your list down below with the top 10 2020 animated animes that are underrated to you. Like, subscribe to this channel for more reactions like this, and we'll see you on the next one, y'all. Peace.